some cents.
15.
Yeah, the intent was to reimburse $66 and some cents, but the wording says $666 and some cents. That needs to be corrected.
I'll take it.
Good.
Free money, yeah,
Good,
sure. throw it
somewhere
around.
on the,
No, I've got it here, 66.15.
okay, well then, in the minutes of, did you send out by email? That's what I saw.
Same copy.
Oh, okay.
Last night I was agreed.
In the email, I saw the big number, so it was an email error. Official minutes showing correct, right?
All printed off the same place, sent from the same file.
What line is that, George? Second.
9G.
You got 9G.
But if you need new glasses, let me know.
No, that's what I read.
Thanks for keeping
online.
us honest, Peter.
Well, I won't dispute it with you, but
Okay,
it is showing right there.
the
So
official record is correct.
I sent Randy so much money, I can never tell. There might have been another one for 600. In fact, I think it was. But I forget what it was. It was
For the radios.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Okay, anything else from that?
Anybody chatting back to us there?
There's nothing there, nobody.
Okay. Well,
Okay, I'll move the minutes as presented.
second number. Larry.
Our third one up there, so you're not all up there.
Nobody's connected? Nobody else is connected
I
though?
don't see anybody on there.
Is that the same link that I sent you on email?
No, I just got you live, so I don't know if it's
No,
the
but
same link.
how did you get it on your phone?
Oh, I just went onto the channel and clicked on the live.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
One conversation, please.
Sorry, George.
Minutes is corrected.
Financial report. I'll ask myself for it. And if you look at it, our checking account is $317.32. That is up $70, down $2, and up 9 cents from there. So it's $370 some odd dollars because we've had $40 in memberships and a $2 banking fee since I actually printed this, but it's close. Savings is 200. Our long-term investment is 35.1338. So our total assets are $4,030.68, give or take the last couple of memberships. And you should have a copy of the actual transactions and stuff attached. That gives you transactions to the date that I printed this. And our checking and savings. Savings doesn't really change much other than we get an interest, which gets transferred over interest from the investment fund. And that gets transferred over into savings. Other than that, we don't usually have any savings transactions. There was one, I transferred $250 for payments on liquid ratings.
There's just the one question I have on the financial report, George.
Yep.
Maybe just an error on a typo. On the second page, at the bottom here, of course, our interest income 171.27.
Yep.
And then if you go up to our savings account, there's 172.81, 2 cents difference. I don't know if that makes a difference or if that was intentional. Because the interest was, looks like it was transferred from the investment account to the savings account. And bottom of page 171.27, you see that, George?
Yeah, I see that one.
And then if you go just above it, if you go above it to the next for our savings account one, it shows in there interest from transferred from the flex term 172. It's just what 50 cents difference or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, just something for you to look at when you get home.
Thank you, Randy.
Mr. Chairman, I have to be excused to attend to an urgent phone call. But before I step away, here's what I read in the minutes that were sent by email. Move that we reimburse Randy for the above $666.15. So it's just one of those typos.
Okay, so it's the line down below. I will check that if necessary. I guess you don't need glasses after all.
And by the way, if you want an optical appointment, go to Regina, and Yorkton is booked up for the next 6 or 8 months. I know that because we need one, right?
Double check his eyes.
Where was that, George, that error?
One line down from it, so the F, 9F.
No, I don't have that here. I got $66.15.
Oh, no, it's G2. Aaron Lutz, being 5 year old, will reimburse Randy for the above $660. $666.
Oh, I see this, okay.
I started,
I got you. Now I see it.
can't even blame it on his glasses. Any other questions on the financial?
I note that the bank cost is, what's it, $4?
$2 a month.
$2 a month, but the interest we get from them is just a few cents.
That's banking.
It's highway robbery.
Never
mind.
That's
Every
why-
bank is actually, this is the cheapest.
That
Others are
is
more.
a special rate, that's why we left the account in Kenora, like bank online. Because if we were to update it to current, we would be paying 3 or 4 times that. So being a grandfather is a good thing at times. Anyway, I will move the financial statement as presented with the amendment as put out by Randy. Can I have a seconder? And all in favor? Please say yay. Okay, now comes the fun part. You want to fill us in on air
On the air?
as far as meeting the president?
No, he's gonna carry on. He just he wasn't able to make it today, this meeting. So I talked to him last night and he'd like to resume as president still. He's working things out there, so.
Was he gonna,
Tell him.
you don't hear him on the radio or anything, is he going to be active?
Yeah, he's gonna be active here now, yeah. So things have
And where's he
settled
working
down
now?
somewhat.
He's active with the lawyers at the moment.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's changing around here, like, he's gonna have more time now. So, he's living out the farm by himself there now. So.
He's still there.
Yeah, he's gonna be staying there for the winter. So you should hear him more active on the air.
Oh, good.
So I asked him specifically about that last night, what he wanted to do, if he wanted to carry on as president or resign, and he wants to carry on, so. So until next meeting, I guess everything is status quo.
Well, that's good to hear. I thought
Yeah.
we lost that site actually.
No, he's gonna bring the node down, although I need to do some work on the node. And that's in my repeater, report. So he's planning on the next couple of weeks coming down and, he's got that stuff to bring down.
Well, that's good news because I thought we lost it.
So, not so far, he's still active member,
Good.
so.
And
Sorry, I missed that report.
that's okay?
Will the president be back active practicing?
Yes,
From the same location. Secretary Treasurer, if anybody wants to actually actively volunteer to do the secretary's treasures. We have Terrence. Gonna give you a job there, Steve. Terrence has said he will take over, he's been working on his tower fruitlessly, unfortunately. He's had a nightmare of occurrences that have tied him up. But he said he would take the books over at such time as he has more time, so sometime in the spring. So I will continue on as intern until such time as he can take over. But if anybody else wants to volunteer, we always need people.
George, you're doing a good job.
Yes. Okay, whole business. Reminder that we have a new park email. It's been there for 6 months or so, parkamateur@outlook.com. All e-transfers and money transfers go to that address. If you send it to my address, it increases my bank account, which is nice. But it's a bit of a pain in the bush, so I would appreciate if you remember to use the club email address because it automatically deposits to their account instead of mine and transfers. We had discussed a pamphlet for the park, somewhat like the one that Dark had. Randy actually showed us one several weeks ago. I know Aaron said he was going to tackle it, wondering whether he was still.
That you'll have to ask him when he gets on the air. I suppose maybe at one of our chit chat.
Yeah, I can do that. And President's report, not here. He's in the middle of legal issues, unfortunately. And repeater report, Mr. Mohammed.
Okay. I don't know if anybody printed this out or not, but I sent it to George this last
I
night.
got it, yep.
So basically, Parkland Amateur Radio Club has, currently we have 6 repeaters. We've got 2 in Kenora, VHF, and the UHF hub. We've got Northway, Robin, Brokenville, and Yorkton. IRLP nodes, we have currently 10 that are connected to our system. 1333 is Robin, work in progress. 1376 Tisdale, 1587 Yorkton. We've got 1621 Fort Capel, 1622 Yorkton, 1710 Yorkton, 1807 Rocanville, 1808 Arcola, 1858 Hendon, and 1884 Humboldt. We've got 2 Echolink nodes. One is on node 1587, which is our current one that we allow people to connect to, the Saskatchewan, which is DE5HAW. The other one is on the node 1710, and it's listed under Victor Alpha 5 Echo Mike Oscar. We've got 1 All-Star Link node, 51394. It's registered to myself, and something that we'll be hopefully getting that going here sometime between now and spring. We also host the Saskatchewan Reflector 9300. So we currently look after 6 repeaters, 10 nodes, 2 Echolink nodes, and 1 All-Star node. Status of the repeaters that need attention are Robin. That's our first one to tackle. It's given us some grief. So we still have an issue there with the antenna. I talked with Verlin at the site, and he's going to try to get that antenna raised up higher for us. Currently the repeater is online and requires a preamp to be installed.
Elaborate.
Third time. Last 2 times I went up there, I've taken up 2 duds. And I forgot to bring them for you, George, for you to check out. I can send it in the mail. Also, the tower owner doesn't presently at the time have a climber, I don't believe. And link radio also needs to be installed once we get the repeater functioning properly. So hopefully that doesn't take too much longer and we can get the system back up and going here. It's given us some grief there as far as the node. Seems like it's given us the same issue. The second time I went up there to Terry's place, it's not recognizing the sound card again. So I'm going to do
Is that the same issue as the first one?
Same issue
So
as
my
the first.
question is it site oriented or is it? We
Well,
may have a
that's-
spare node now.
That's one thing we might have, and the thing is, I'm going to do a complete reinstall from scratch again to see if what the issue is there, if it's in the software or if it's hardware. I was thinking on his node, I wonder if it's set up as PPE and putting that curve down the line on the Cat5. But anyways, it's stuff for me to investigate and report back to the club and possibly at our chit chat now. Our cola repeater, ART V5 Foxtrot Delta Tango. They just love it that we've got the IRLP connected there to the system. Estevan stations, Marv takes advantage of it, Ocean. Probably heard him on the air. And he's become way more active because of it. There's also some work that needs to be done at the tower site there, Arthur informed me. And basically the coax, the antenna's at the top, and it's a Sinclair, I think, R210, just a regular single dipole DHF antenna. Apparently from there, the coax runs to the bush, instead of down the tower, and then from the bush into the shaft. So whoever was at the repeater site put it like that temporary, because it's and they're probably going to come back and install a new antenna and put the coax down there.
So we went off the one on the ground?
So it's pretty strange how it's all set up, but I think Rob, the 5RJK, has offered to climb that tower if he has the proper gear. So we're just waiting on Art to give us a shout when he's going to come up to the tower site for us to visit to get that compared. But the repeater is working fine, surprisingly. But needs some work. And then the other one is the Hendon IRLP node 1858. And it's going to get new reinstalled on the software and with using Aaron's V5EML pole sign. So he's going to be bringing that down hopefully in the next couple of weeks, and we can get that up and going. So there's a minor glitch with it, and it's causing a small system. So that's why it's not connected and not being used. Other than that, all the other repeaters and nodes are working good. For new business,
We'll get there.
okay. For now, that's all I have for my repeater report. George, you.
nodes or system or anything else?
There's one or two places, Randy, we have IRLPs. They're not being used that much, are they? Or are, because I understood we paying $300 to put one in. And fine if they use it, but I don't like the idea of spending money there and not using it. Is that,
Anything in specific, any note specific?
well, I'm thinking Tisdale maybe,
Just that we're on there every morning.
but you're not on, why aren't you on the Sunday night?
Actually,
to me-
actually Graham has actually checked in and,
He has, yeah.
Tom has talked with, there's actually a lot of traffic on there.
Okay, fine, no, I just.
So, we're on there early in the morning, 5, 6 o'clock in the
Yeah,
morning.
well, I'm still in bed,
What do you do,
so.
what do you do up at that
You're
time?
in there.
To me, if I would, they need to be told that we have a club or a deal, or chit chat on Sundays. And I feel that they need to check in on that one. I don't care what else they check in, but they're not doing it because I'm there.
Well, they hold their own coffee row meeting there every Saturday in Tisdale. And I suppose a person can go up there and express it. I know I've sent up some paperwork to Tom because he's gone up there. And they just kind of ignored the fact we didn't get any new members up until recently. We got Graham and his wife are now members of our club as of yesterday, I think.
They're from Melford, but they come in through the Tisdale.
Yeah, so it's getting, and the thing is, Melford is also coming online this fall, winter with the IRLP node. NKO, I think, or I could be wrong on his call sign. I've talked to him anyways. He's in the process of putting the note together.
Is he doing his own or we pay for that?
No, that's their own. Yeah. No, we're done pretty much paying for nodes. Unless we get that.
That's, you know,
The only reason why we're paying for these nodes, Larry and everybody else, is the fact that a person's isolated and becomes a member of our club. And basically, I know what that's like, and I think a lot of people do here before we've had the lights working. The repeaters were quiet, they were isolated. So there's no way of really getting out unless you had HF. Okay, so even if there's just one member,
I
having
don't
the
have a
node,
problem, I want to use them.
that's right, yeah. So,
Actually, we've had really nothing but good comments
Yes.
on the linking that we've done.
yes.
I heard you talking to Joe, actually Pierre, about this Saskatoon this one. Nancy, please.
Alpha Lima.
Yeah. And that was fun. Yeah, like we're getting new estimates to the odd time on our net, which is kind of, but we're getting some really positive feedback on
With,
on the
yeah,
connecting
because
all
it was
the
expanded
nodes.
that, that's.
Really not having Regina in there. I get kicked out of wrestling.
Go ahead, Larry.
That's because we expanded the reflector to go do that. That's not, as far as I'm concerned, that's not Parkland's cost or money that we put out for that. And it's a good thing that we did it because it's a lot more action. I buy all that. I just don't like the idea of putting nodes in and then not using it. And I wish they would check in on our net, which is Sunday at 8 o'clock. That's maybe coming.
Well, actually, I think we've had a couple of check-ins from Tisdale.
Not very often.
Not too often.
Actually, Graham has been more active the last little bit.
Yeah,
I've noticed I've heard him on there a few times.
and
Tisdale's probably the worst.
Yeah.
We have two people in Humboldt. Chris and.
we're probably going to get more there. We've got a few more people there that are living there that are ham operators that might become active. So So it's just gonna get more and more people, on these nodes, and sometimes it's so busy, it's hard to get in there. Some other times it's quiet.
George? Yeah.
But the thing is that Tisdale one, I kind of thought that we could have got maybe one or two club members out of there,
I was kind of hoping so, yeah.
but it didn't come to that, so I guess we'll just stock it up as being good, friendly amateur.
Yes, because I even worked on,
So, but DJ comes on, he talks to Tom, just that they're not active on the nets, but they are using the system, which is good. So, not everybody likes checking in on nets. Some people think it's pointless, but the reason we have our nets are so we can check our system and make sure everything is working properly. Is the reason why we have nets.
I think I've had a few comment on the fact that we don't just check in. We're not necessarily, we're a net.
Yes.
We're a chit chat.
It's
The
a
idea is to
keystone.
catch up on what the person's
Yes, we've
doing.
got a good net running, and George here next to the controller.
But I mean,
So-
we've had nice comments on people that we actually, want to hear from. Like, don't just say, hi, I'm here. We get a few of those, but for the most part, people that tell us what they've been doing for the week, what they're working on for attendance or whatever. So, I mean, I really enjoy it as a controller. I love hearing what's going on, talking to guys in here, talking to you guys. I actually had you once, talked to Raz, of course,
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I think that people are using the system, and that's what it's there for.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I have 2 points. One is a question, the other is a comment on this interlinking. From time to time, I hear extended QSOs coming through on the Yorkton repeater. I would describe them as interminable. In other words, they go on and on and on, and I see very little, if any, opportunity to break in. If I should suddenly, at this point, need the use of the repeater, although I've never had that experience, I might not be able to break in order to use my local repeater. But people realize they should be asking and making comments and providing for others to bring in every minute or couple minutes instead of going on and on and on.
Well, there's not much. I don't think we can control what people do, and I suppose you could disconnect the link.
Actually-
you can have the code and disconnect the link, and then use the system.
Actually, I think, and I'm probably as guilty as anybody, when you get a QSO going, it's interesting. But I think we need to make sure that we allow more time between overs, so that if somebody wants to break in, they can. And if you know you're having a long QSO, it would be nice
We all
to
are.
take a break and say, is there anybody else out there wants to talk?
Give yourself a rest.
And like I said, I'm as guilty as anybody else, because I've been on there and I make the job. So.
A lot of times there's not enough pause left between the conversations.
Yes, and I'm as guilty as everybody else is, so I. need to
Somebody
focus
found
on that. Actually, I have to wait for you because you allow
VA6
your 4 or 5
GSM.
seconds.
Oh, Scott.
I didn't see a link, so
You're
I just
doing it
went
right.
back, right? I didn't think to send a link.
And we're not.
I apologize.
So, yeah,
No,
just a
should be the
mental
same
note to
length.
everybody is try to leave some time in between QSOs and take a break.
Just
Ask
didn't want
anybody
to,
else is wanting to
Try
join.
to be there.
Didn't want to.
Thank you, George.
Should
My
be
other
recording,
point was
right?
a question
Oh, yeah.
that I direct to Randy. Some repeaters have a squelch tail, others don't. My impression is maybe the Norco repeater has a squelch tail on initial contact, but then I never hear the squelch tail again. I'm not sure if that's always the situation. But on the Yorkton repeater, when I try to operate it mobile, I never ever hear a squelch tail. I hear nothing until somebody calls in.
Well, the thing is, if you're operating a bullfang radio, and I got one in the truck,
Yeah,
you need at least a half a second hang time to be actually hear that shall come back to you. And Yorkton is set to either 0.2 or 0.3. So lots of times on some radios, both ends are especially loaded for that. You won't hear that hang time, but there's hang times on all the repeaters.
I got it.
We can make it longer if you want.
Well, I don't know, maybe it's the problem with my radio, it's one of those TYTs.
Yeah, I got the same one in my truck, and
Yeah.
I can't hear the hang time on it either. So
And it says it puts out 20 watts, but I kind of doubt that. You said you did some tests on them, they don't put out 20 watts, do they?
yeah, mine comes close. I think 18 or something.
Okay,
But it varies on what frequency. Like it's not like a commercial radio where you get 20 watts
yeah,
right through the whole band. You know, say middle of the band might get 20 watts. The edges are maybe 15. So
yeah, thanks for that clarification.
Why isn't there an identifier on the repeater that goes every 10 or 15 minutes?
Would you speak up, please?
Like code.
there's
Well, I was asking why there wasn't an identifier tone on the repeater.
George, you can-
there is an ID.
Is there?
Yeah,
Just
it's
give us a second here.
It's an hour.
Thanks for
I've got a bit of a question. Parkland, what area does that encompass? Is it just the Parkland area of what is known as Parkland area? Or does it say the province of Saskatchewan? Or does it encompass the whole of Canada? I know we've got members from the Parkland area as defined geographically, and then there's members in the province and also out of the province. So, do we encroach on other clubs, like for instance Regina, or do we encroach on Saskatoon, or even other province clubs? Or are we just a Saskatchewan club now?
no, Leon. We're still the Parkland Amateur Radio Club. Parkland area, like basically all our members belong to our club. We're not encroaching on any others because I'm members of more than one club and organization. So a lot of you guys are. So I don't think we're like maybe suggesting stealing members from other clubs. I don't believe that's true.
I think the point Leon is trying to make is that the other members in Medicine Hat, Saskatoon, Regina have been invited to participate in the activities of the club by this extended linking. But they're not part of the amateur radio club here.
Oh, yes, they are.
They are actually paid members.
Some are paid members.
Well, for the most part, we got a gentleman right here, Bob from Regina, he's a paid member.
Okay,
Milts are paid.
Milt
Sue.
and Sue from Medicine Hat are paid members.
okay.
We have members from Arcola. We have members from Humboldt. We have members from Hudson Bay.
We have members from
Belfast.
Manitoba too, George.
We have members from Manitoba. We have a couple of Scotsmen that we allow in once in a while.
Well, then the term Parkland is not entirely descriptive, right?
Speak out.
It is not descriptive of.
Up your voice.
Just give me your help.
The fucking.
Are you ready for a reply? No.
Let's not get kicked out of here.
So basically, we're our same club. But we have people reaching in from other areas that are actually, they're helping pay the bill, which is kind of nice.
That's all good and well. But I see it slightly differently. So we can have a member being part of the club committee, etc., that's way out of province.
I guess technically
Well-
we could.
If they want to drive and come to the meeting, yes, and that's why there's discussion about our president right now, because he hasn't been showing up to the meeting. We got news that he's going to, but as far as I'm concerned, if Randy didn't say what he said today, I'd put a motion that we get rid of our president because he's not being here. If you're gonna be president, you show up to the meeting. I don't care if you fly in, whatever you do.
Yeah, I don't know whether you know, he's going through divorce.
So
Well, that takes an awful lot of time and a lot of,
that's not a club problem.
no, but it's a personal problem, and as people, we have to respect troubles that other people are going
That's
through.
fine.
You know, so,
I didn't say anything against,
Yeah.
but if a person is out of the province, let's say for instance, a legality arises as far as signing rights and so forth in the club comes up. Then a person that's out of province will, they won't have any
I know where you're coming from.
the legalities of being in a province stays in a province. And if you're out of province, that person is not legally bound by the province rules. Is that right or wrong?
Yeah, I know where you're coming from, and I think we can solve that issue if you look at the Constitution and go back where it stipulates the election of members and officers in the club. If you clarify that any executive has to be, well, depending how we word it and how people think, you can either say they have to be active at the meetings and reside within Saskatchewan. Because you can have people in Saskatchewan that would never come to the meeting, people in Saskatoon, I'm actually surprised you're here, which is really nice, like I said, I'm impressed if you took the time to come. You know, we can't expect people from Saskatoon to Regina to travel for 2 or 3 hour meeting. We'll get to that later. I think we should probably change the Constitution to stipulate that executive have to be from the province. And whether we want to include active meetings or whatever, that's up to everybody to decide. But I think we probably should put a stipulation in that they be from the province. What do other people think? It's not too much competition.
Canadian
misses more than 2 meetings, they're out.
No, they miss.
Well, with considerations, because you can miss 2 meetings because of medical issues. At our age, that happens.
Like you said,
They're
the
thrown
exception.
I'm hesitant to put in like 2 meetings in a row because inconsistent.
I'm
sorry,
I wouldn't be in favor of that either.
George,
I vote against Larry.
as presidents.
Because I feel
I know, so you
personally,
should see his
in
motion.
Canada or the states, if they want to join and pay a membership, fine. It's just the executive is where we've got to be careful.
The executive should be president of the meeting.
Needs to be.
I agree.
So,
But
just
if
to
they have
what
a-
George said,
I'm
it's
not
just
a
a minor
member yet,
change in the Constitution.
Correct.
Got your
But
membership
sometimes
list,
executives could have serious personal issues going on that
Yeah.
prevents them.
Yeah,
the executive.
But then you could link in
Vote
via
on these
YouTube or
positions,
whatever,
then
That's
or
right.
by
the
phone.
person that's
We've got
impossible
technology.
to
Yeah.
be here, so they wouldn't show up.
Be interested how this turns out.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I would have liked more time to
Still
set it up
entitled to
properly.
the-
Yeah,
because
it's the first time,
Your
so
bylaws,
it's gonna be glitches
Any
and stuff, so.
Maybe next time we bring,
sit on the executive.
So then
we can't do that.
the membership has to decide
I
whether
was
they
gonna say
accept
bring mine,
They should.
mine and just do it on my
Foreign.
channel and link it to you, to your
No,
channel.
not in the.
That would work, right?
I know-
It's better
I know
to do
what
it
you're
over
saying.
there.
Yeah, other,
If it's not
You should be able
possible.
to.
yeah, there's a place where you can.
Yeah. Right now,
Doesn't make
I
sense
have
to
on the
do that.
bottom there.
Yeah.
says block
Yeah,
this.
but discourage it.
Oh,
It's such an election.
Yeah, good point.
Why can't the executive nominate someone to stand in for them?
No, can't,
No, can't do that. Why not?
because you're not elected. And the chairman does not have the right to allocate. There's a chain of command, executive's not here, the vice chairman usually chairs the meeting, because I love to talk, you let me do it. I write up the minutes, so hey. But you can't, well, right now, I'm an acting secretary treasurer. I am not on the executive legally.
So we
Because
got a two-man executive at this stage.
No, actually, we have, well,
Yes, we do.
okay.
We've got,
I guess it depends whether you want to classify me as being part of the executive because I'm temporarily covering it because I quit,
yeah,
waiting for someone else to do the books because I needed
I
somebody
know
else.
that's a debatable point,
So-
but I'm not pushing it.
Yeah, I know.
As it stands at the moment, voted on members, we've only got two. You haven't been voted on, but you volunteered to fulfill a position, not as an executive member. So we've got a two-man committee at the moment,
One of whom is absent.
exactly. So
Well,
one man can make a decision
okay, let's
if he decides, this is now hypothetical. If he decides that he wants to spend 4,000 on a new radio tower and system and everything, we can absorb all the money in the club and there's nobody to vote against it.
Okay, I think
That's a hypothetical thing.
I think we
But
can
we
solve
should prevent that by amending our constitution so that we cover all those little points of legalities and so forth. We incorporate it at this stage. So we're responsible for a lot of things. We incorporate it as such. Not just a playing club as such at this stage. That we've still got to decide whether we want to stay incorporated or do we want to get out of incorporation.
okay,
I'll leave it open for members to peruse and think about it, and then we need to decide whether we should change our constitution ever so slightly to cover ourselves in all aspects. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
actually, we can solve part of that problem because as far as secretary treasurer, we have a person that has volunteered. Now, he volunteered after our last meeting, and I actually have it in the minutes here, and because actually, I thought we were gonna have a chairman election there too. But we do have a secretary treasurer that's volunteered. He's not doing the books at the moment because I'm still doing them. So may I suggest that we actually elect the new secretary treasurer with the proviso that I transfer the books to him when he's ready. That would give him actually the position and title of the vote, even though I'm doing the books.
That's up to the members to decide. I just raised a very few points that were
It's a good point.
be
It's a
as
good
well.
point, because we were at a point where we really only had, in essence, possibly only one elected member, because we weren't sure where Eric was sitting.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I will actually make a motion that we nominate Terrence as the new secretary treasurer.
I'll second it.
Okay, hold on.
That was
I'm
good.
trying to go back to my minutes here.
You're getting hungry. Yeah, they're in the truck. I'll take it
Any
later.
comments?
Is there any, like, we are incorporated, is it really doing us any good? Explain it to us. You're the one that wanted it.
Where are we at?
We have limited liability for individual actions. That's a good point.
Peter put it plain and simple.
Okay, no, I want them, I had an idea what it was, but I wanted the rest of them.
I'd like to make one more point, Mr. Chairman, we have to close out
Well,
that.
we're still in the middle of elections, just like you said. Do we have any further comments on the secretary treasurer position?
Anybody else want the position?
Are you now in position to actually do it? You got the
Okay,
time?
so it's been moved and seconded. Can we have a show of hands in favor?
In favor.
Okay, so you are now officially the secretary.
Congratulations.
You actually now are on the executive. I'll have to put paperwork through for that, to Liberty Canada and ISC. Yeah, so you have a vote and I don't. I said, so you have a vote and I don't, but I'll do the books that you're ready.
When we gonna get to new business, you know?
Shortly.
Actually, I got a comment I just want to get on the record for the repeater report. Port Propel node, 1621 frequency is 146.43. There is no offset because it's simplex and no tones. The only time it may be down is if I'm playing the HF because that interferes with the node radio. And you don't want to hear all that noise through the system.
Mr. Chairman, one comment about Constitution, if I may. Many organizations provide for absenteeism or proxy balloting. We have no such provision, and we should probably stay away from any such provision. Not allowed in this organization.
We normally do local votes, so yes, you're right.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what,
Face-to-face meeting zone and election zone.
that's what I need it for. Okay. I think that covers everything except new. And quick sponsorship program, I think we talked about that with, that's assisting others setting up the notes.
There's one other one that might be coming up this winter. It's Inglefeld. I haven't talked with the owner of the repeater there, but Dave V5RY informed me of his contact information, and that might be another possible location. The plan was to link from Hendon to Anglefeld and discuss it with the repeater owner. But we're going to see how future runs here, and we might have another place for the Hendon node, is what I'm saying. Just move it to Anglefeld, because we're going to be doing that anyways, linking it up with them. So it is still, hopefully we can still have coverage along that I-5. But anyways, that's all I have for up and coming nodes on the system.
Humboldt.
I don't know, 12 miles. Not very far.
Okay, I don't know the geography. Okay, thanks, Randy. Having equipment for sale. Inventory of items in sale.
I'm going to be getting to that coming up here shortly. I've been trying to wait until some of our new hams get their license. And also been very busy with setting up equipment and so forth. So there's going to be those radios everybody's asking about. They'll be coming up here hopefully in the next 2 weeks. And we'll discuss it amongst the executive for pricing. And then once that decides, either myself or you, George, can send out the email to everyone, let them know the stuff we have for sale. We've got a fair bit of donated items that'll be putting money back into the club. So hopefully we can sell some of it locally, and if not, we'll put it on Ham Shack and see if we can get rid of it there. And if we don't do that, then I guess we'll lower the price, and like we did in the past. So that's all I have for there.
Okay, continuing on item C, the res lot duplexes, at this point, I don't think we can afford them, I don't know if we really need them. The RCD 210 controller,
No, that's, we don't require it right now.
okay,
We don't need to spend the money.
good. Cards, business cards. Anybody wanting a business card? I know one of us have basically the same card. Okay,
There's a sale going on right now,
talk to Randy,
I believe. Send me an email.
talk to me before the meeting, write it down.
How much are they, and how many?
Okay, who all wants cards?
Myself.
I'll take some too.
Jerry,
Oh, it's on here? I'm sorry.
So be the same as the previous ones that we have? Everybody has their own
Okay, Rob,
call sign.
Kevin, Terry, Stephen. Anybody else?
Rob,
Rob? Okay. Anybody else?
have you seen them?
Yes, I have,
I
yeah.
got you down there, Terry.
Last one.
just on mine, would you note voluntary exemption?
I will be sending out,
We need,
however you guys want to design your own card,
good.
it's fine with me. You don't have to go with the status quo. Dan, you go with it. I'm pretty easy. George has got a copy of one there.
Oh, want to see it?
No, we don't. I've seen it.
I don't have echo no there.
Okay, that's all I had for new business.
Sweet, Rob, I'll talk to you.
No, you've got a side conversation going on, which I
Go ahead,
have a
Kevin. You go first and I'll go second.
Oh, I was wondering about the cards, if we could just get general ones in the club on it instead of personalized ones as well. And then I was thinking we could maybe name them at the bulletin boards and stuff like that, and create more interest in the club. I don't know, just a thought.
I think we might have banners left over from the Hamfest. Is that what you're trying to?
One thing, you should have a name and a contact person, because somebody sees the card and
For sure.
they're interested.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Would it have like the website and info on it and stuff like that? Yeah.
Well, this does have that on.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I passed my card out, like I met, I was in Regina, I don't know, a couple days ago, it seems. It's been a blur lately. And I had a box of electronics technology course that I had taken myself years ago. And young Raza, if you've heard of him,
Oh, yeah.
he's full of piss and vinegar, he's an old soul in a young body. And I said you could have them. So when I went into Regina, I took them with me, figuring, okay, I'll make a call, see if somebody's available where I can meet.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, I was walking out, driving out. Joe, VE5, zips all notes, ZEN. Came back and he was like, he couldn't have been more than 10 blocks away from me. He says, pull over and stop. He says, I'll come to you. So I pulled into a gas station. He came up and he took the box and I had a good face to face with him, which is kind of neat. I gave him a card. So anybody I meet and I'm talking to regarding ham, I can't go 4 or 5 in my wallet, and I share with everybody. Even people that aren't hams that are interested, give us a call, got my contact information. So,
Time we see together.
use it, pass it on. I've had mine for I don't know how many years, and I still got 40 or 50 or 60 years. Someone's still in there, and I hand them out relatively freely.
Sounds good.
Okay, any other new business?
I got a question about SARM.
Just a minute there, we got one up here. Terrence.
I'd like to let everybody know that I owe Rob a big thanks. He came to my QTH and during, I guess, the first day, I got food poisoning. And I was violently ill for 6 days. During this period of time, Rob built my station and put the tower up. I would also like to take this time to tell the club members that we will have 3 new members by the first of the year. It's my objective, and the crash courses, and I'd like to introduce Wade. Hold your hand up. He's one of our candidates. Bill, wake up. And Tracy at the end of the table. We've all spoken about how we're going to handle this, and like I said, it's my objective to have this done by January the 1st. So I just mentioned to Randy, and it kind of overlapped what Bob said and what Kevin addressed earlier. I am the voluntary examiner for this club. Let's get the word out. Okay, we can do it. And
That's one real big plus for our club, having you as an examiner.
Well,
And thanks for doing that, because I know.
and Kevin has indicated to me as a candidate in our COLA. There's another one.
This one,
So
Burley,
What's that?
the guy in Bertle.
There's
Von
nobody in Berlin
Samchuk,
no
but
more.
he let
Yeah,
us.
there is.
He's not an examiner no more.
No, I mean, Kennedy, remember?
Oh, Colin?
Call, plot.
Well, send me his contact information and let's.
Because I know he's been thinking about it. He's been thinking about it. And
He was at our field day last.
he's been on our last couple of field days. He's got family and he gets tied up in that.
Oh.
But with a little bit of push and encouragement, I think, because he's been studying on it for a while.
Send me his contact information, I'll get all of them. Didn't have much of a vote on that
Okay,
secretary
thank you.
treasurer position, did I?
Down here.
Exclamation.
Any concern?
Oh, yeah, since we've been involved here, we'll hit you up for that. Sorry.
So,
Sir.
Where does Sorrel
Randy,
stand?
you're still in the
Saskatchewan
corner.
Amateur Radio League.
No. Is it still on the books?
May 30, or May 1st. Well, the Wednesday of 2024, everybody that was looking after the treasurer and all that, that's a nonprofit organization that has a number, they're sent letters, emailed them. Okay, and they were supposed to get back by June 30th. The deadline thing, because what we're gonna do is how many clubs responded, divide the money up equally. We only heard back from 3 clubs, from all of Saskatchewan.
Were we one of them? We never heard nothing about this.
And we checked, there's no bounce back, so,
I don't remember who you sent it to.
whoever was treasurer or something. I think, they just went with the, what was on the website.
Well, that would have been me, and I don't remember getting anything, because I know I would have applied for sure. Because I probably emailed back and forth.
If you're thinking about dividing up the money and so forth, I'm sure that there's a project in the province that won't save one. Use and upgrade. I think that use in the province. But anyways, however you guys do it, you do it. But as far as the Constitution of Cerro, how it was written out was if Cerro was ever to basically go into default, so resolved, that it would go to the next incorporated provincial club of the province. And I believe there's 2 or 3 of us that are clubs that are incorporated. And I know when Val was secretary treasurer, of course, a lot of those emails are gone bye-bye, but I still have copies of a lot of them. And she was aware of us being incorporated. So I don't know if you want to comment on that. You can check back into your constitution, but when we were at the meeting and I read that constitution back when we were discussing the reflector at the time, it was in the constitution at that time of Cyril. So I don't know if you want to comment on that, Bob.
Anyways, I think that everything went through, what is it, provincial audit or whatever. Everything went to them and everything. Then you sent me a form.
Yep.
For a grant.
Yep.
Well, they sent it to me, but I resigned that.
Well, I mean, you were the last standing president, so I.
Yeah. There was an email,
There's been a couple, but it.
yeah,
That's-
there was, where to send it. Email address is right there. That's where it's just supposed to come. So what I'm gonna do, and this is on behalf of myself, I am going to check with my phone. No?
You don't have to do that, Bob.
No, I mean, we're not putting this on you. We just like, there's been a lot of questions as to where Star.
We just can't get the answers, that's all.
We haven't had the answers, so don't bother.
Don't do that, Bob.
No, I won't take it, so don't bother.
Where did the money go to anyways, Bob, just for curiosity?
3 clubs in China, like Swift Current, and Moose Jaw.
Maybe Moose Jaw had to be in there somehow.
How much was it, you know?
Not right offhand, like, I don't get any.
And who would know
So
that?
off the subject.
So this,
Well, she has the signing. I'm not quite sure if it was all done through the provincial audit.
can we get a copy of the provincial auditor's report?
Is there a Corporations Winding Down Act that governs these matters? Or legislation?
Sure there is.
Yeah.
The thing is, we're registered with provinces being incorporated, so it'd be kind of a big miss by the provincial auditor, I think. If it did go through that route.
Have a concept of extinction.
There was also discussion, talk at this table, actually, that Parkland might take it on at the time. And Miss Val from Moose Jaw, I'm gonna be blunt about it and speak a little bit of
No, don't.
Irish.
Where's our
but
coffee?
Yeah.
She was so pissed off with this that she wouldn't have nothing to do with it. And the thing that bothers me is now there's only one, I think, club, maybe 2 in the whole of Canada that is represented, and that's one of them is Quebec, and maybe Ontario, I don't know for sure. But Saskatchewan has 0, and we did.
So anything else it takes,
Well, I understand, you know, we couldn't find it.
no.
For that too, because she was pretty close. But a lot of things.
Bob, would we be able to get a copy of the provincial auditor's report, do you think?
I don't know who to contact, like I said, I resigned,
Yeah, I understand.
so,
You got nothing to do with it, but
yeah, I don't know who to contact.
like I thought Gord had something to do with it too. And I asked Gord at the Moose Jaw Flea Market, and I couldn't get an answer from him.
Appreciate that.
We're still good.
Don't be shy.
Do you want to order?
Yes, and coffee too,
Give
please.
us,
Oh, coffee, okay.
give us another 10, 15 minutes.
Sure.
Okay, thank you, appreciate that.
Year and a half or something that I haven't been involved in.
Yeah, I know, like it was, yeah, about that time when everything kind of changed with closing. We thought you were still kind of active, whatever. Okay, well, I obviously said to the wrong person. And then I'll take blame for that, that's me. But yeah,
But anyway, I mean, I helped you guys get the
oh,
reflector.
absolutely.
Definitely.
If somebody's gonna take it on, okay, who wants to take it on? It's yours. Yes, they are not
Yeah, fill her up.
in the business of running repeaters.
Insolvent.
So I have a mark up here, very, like you guys to check.
Yeah, oh, we've had good support, like I said, we haven't done it. And that, again, comes back to me, so. Do we have any other, new business?
Yeah.
We've been on Bob enough.
I got new business. Go
Okay,
ahead,
hold on.
Peter, you first.
Well, there was talk of buying some climbing gear in case we had a volunteer climber. I'd suggest rather than buying it, we talk to Marty V for MRT. I remember he once showed up with a brand new climbing suit and full body harness, but he couldn't climb. I wonder if he uses it, he might want to lend it to us.
And we have an answer from Terry on that.
Yeah,
I bought it.
you got it. Well, then we possess it.
No, listen carefully. You want to repeat that?
I bought the harness. I'm gonna give it to the club.
Oh, well, that's wonderful news.
I wanted that clarified.
Have that in the minutes.
That's awesome.
Oh, then
Appreciate that, Terry.
we have a harness.
He thought you got it,
Yes,
and I wanted the clarification that no, he bought it.
Oh,
There's a difference, so thank you.
do we need to reimburse him for having bought it?
No, he bought it and donated it to the club. He's a
Okay.
very generous person. He's donated a few things to our club, including the radio for his node, for our node.
I got some more new business.
I'm still ready.
okay, I got one question too, after that.
Go ahead, man.
Well, as many of you know, our club's website is going through kind of a revamp. And I haven't had time to put any time towards it in the last probably year and a half or so. Except for some minor updates from time to time. But I'd like to have good kudos there for Raza, RZR, for basically designing a new website for us. And that's one of the other projects I'll be looking after to get back up and going, more updated this winter. I have more time. So, any comments on the website? If anybody has actually looked at the website, what are your thoughts? I'd like to know that.
It's different.
And let us know, so we're going down the right track and we're not doing something we only reflects views of a couple of people. So we've got some compliments on it. But if you got any objections or any additional comments that you want to add to the website and stuff, just let us know so we can include them. So basically, that's all I have. Just wanted to note that.
From what I've seen, it's a nice clear look.
It's different.
Just the way it's laid out is
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm happy with it.
I'm not complaining about the old one. I think it's really good.
Yeah,
A
but
lot
we
of
needed
information.
we needed an uplift, and Raza, he's a smart cookie. So,
Gotta beat that guy one of these days.
yeah, he's,
Okay, thanks, Randy. Anybody else, any further new business?
This is necessarily not new business, but I just want to report that at Rocanville, There is about 70 gallons of transformer oil. It is not PCB, it is about SO35. I managed to get it for free quite a while ago. It was put in a transformer for testing in Regina. They dumped it into clean barrels, and so if anybody wants them for a can tenner, whatever, get a container and I'll fill it, because we are going to get rid of it if it's not used. The other thing is at Rocanville 2, there's 2 reels of, I think Larry has 1 reel, of 75 ohm coax cable came from the mine, and it's, I think it's 7/8
diameter.
and it's 75 ohm. But if you want to see whether 75 ohm works, look up there on YouTube. There's a guy did a whole pile of testing on the smaller stuff, but the 75. This is big stuff. Ground up a tower, losses will be next to nothing on it, and it does work. So, and it's there. It's on my brother's farm. Nobody's going to use it. We'll probably take it to the scrap.
Well, I run 300 feet of it, no longer.
Well, it's huge. Larry knows how to adapt to it.
Is that the 3/4 inch at your place,
It's
Larry?
the big stuff.
Well, it's 7/8, yeah.
It's 7/8. It came
Yeah,
from the
but
mine.
3/4, I didn't see 87/8, it's 3/4.
It's big. What size is it?
There's a reel of 3/4, no, it's 7/8.
Well, it's
Three quarter, oh, there.
7/8.
Yeah, it's 3/4.
Okay, I thought it was 7/8.
Well, it takes a 3/4 inch pipe fitting, which is adapted, which is actually bigger than.
Anyway, it doesn't matter, it's either
It's
3/4
there
or
if somebody
7/8.
wants to try it. It's free.
I can put Amazon for it if you want, there's nothing I've done. Use it, they're great. And they work.
Anyway, that's all I have to.
Okay, so going what?
What we put previously from.
Let's see.
Well, it's a big roll, yeah. I think there's 2,500 feet on a roll. It's not the stuff that we got 160 feet. That was mine too. It came from the Potash Rocanville.
So it's a bigger one.
It's a bigger one and it's solid. It's not like that's
It's got a aluminum-
stuff like helium you're talking.
Okay.
That's pretty much all on that stuff.
Going once, new business, going twice, 12:39, we closed our meeting.
Terry had one question.
Oh, sorry, Terry,
Where do you want this harness?
this one?
Where do you want the safety harness? Give it to Randy, or do you want it?
Yeah, sure, Randy, local.
Okay.
He's got lots of storage space. Hey, wait till you see the back of our truck.
Oh, no, I'm not. Anyways, after the
I'll
meeting,
probably
Maybe
end
I
up
should-
being climbers.
Maybe I should give it to Rob since
Okay,
he's
yeah.
doing the climbing.
Yeah, sure, makes sense to me.
That's a good idea.
And he'll have it, and he doesn't have to stop to go get
That's a good idea.
one other thing is after the meeting, Kevin and I, Marty here, kudos for Marty here also for helping the club out with many other things like having a field day site and available to us, and also of helping haul equipment from point A to point B on behalf of the club. So we're going to be going out to Murray's B5 ACI after we finish eating, and he's got a bunch of equipment out there he's donated to the club. I talked with Marty, B5 CAR from Theodore, and he's still planning on putting up his tower, and they're going to relocate the Theodore repeater, the CNR one, that Murray had taken out of service, and it's going to be relocated in this garage. It's going to be on a 64-foot tower, probably, hopefully next summer. So glad to see that we've got that area, of coverage on Highway 16, possibly be back in service. And then we might have a place for a node there as well. But anyways, that's all I have.
You said 5 ACL?
B5 ACI,
ACI.
Murray.
I caution you about that, boys, when you go out to see ACI equipment. It's ancient stuff. And maybe 25 years ago, it might have had some value. I would question it now. It's a back-breaking job to get at it. Remember, it's in a broken-down, rotten old house with uneven flooring. So if you're gonna try
It's
to
been
move,
moved already.
it's been out of that house.
Well, it's probably just inside the doorway or whatever, but I understand I talked to, Murray and, he's got a couple of helpers out there to help him.
That would be great.
And they moved them, so it's gonna be just not Kevin and I and Marty, there's gonna be two other guys.
You know,
Plus Murray.
just an aside, you kept saying Marty was gonna give you a hand here, Marty was giving you a hand. I thought you were talking about MRT.
No,
Until we showed up at Roblin and there's a Marty there, but it wasn't MRT.
Marty
It was-
before MRT is actually right now currently at Shiloh, Manitoba, taking a Rangers course. So he's been very busy with family and Rangers and work and he hasn't had the time to put towards radio as much as he'd like to, so
Yeah, I know, it's just that, I mean, I think.
and I think we've got somebody here from Swan River, do we not?
No, that would be Randy.
Penner. Did Randy Penner show up?
No,
I thought he was
I
coming.
thought he was too. That's why I was wondering whether you were Randy Penner or not. But he's not.
So I know Randy Penner, I'm just wondering if it's the same guy or not. I know two Randy Penners. V4.
Yes, sorry, it is, you're right, it's 4. Give me a second.
But anyways, we'll talk with him probably in the next day or two. But it looks like he's a new member of our club too.
FRP, he's a plastic man.
Okay, so he's a
Plastic
member of our club.
reinforced plastic.
Has he sent you dues?
Yep, all paid for. I was hoping he'd be here because I have this and I've got Graham and Dorothy's. I wasn't sure if they would make it or not, but I've got theirs here too.
Well, that's awesome. And every little bit helps, that's for sure.
Yeah, I got all that.
Okay, that's all for me.
Good, it's done.
Another time.
So you're still going to Melville on Saturday. Get this.
Just hang on here. Until Rob gets past me.
2 years ago. Oh. Did you pay 2 years in a row? Yes, same as,
Isn't you said your buddy's climber too?
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna need that harness for Buchanan Tower.
I don't know when,
Once we get that tower down, then the harness can
You have
go
a
back.
current updated membership list.
Monty,
It's in the
I
email.
chatted with him the other day.
That one that's-
He's gonna get his walking papers made there that are going to Thailand till the 1st of March or the 15th of March. And he's gonna house it.
Where?
In Edmonton, or Stony Plain. So we're not gonna get him back here till next summer or next spring. And there's a farmer at Culver,
Rice or cream of potato bacon?
Yeah.
you should have it in email. You need my-
Church Bridge area type of thing that he's going to work for come
You like
spring.
that one on both sides?
So he'll be back here and be able to climb next summer.
Okay. We'll still need the climber and the
Salad,
harness
fries, or
here.
supervisor side?
Rob will either have to come down or else we'll get somebody else here to climb. We don't harness.
Do you know where I can go and get a second fall arrest? You said you may have one.
Yes, I didn't look yet, so,
I think the one I sent out does.
Like this harness is brand
What kind
new.
of dipping sauce would you
It's got a
like?
carrying bag.
Plum, honey mustard, honey
I
dill.
bought it from Bob.
yeah, that's awesome.
Okay.
I heard about that, there's a lot of equipment there.
And dressing for the
Second
salad.
fall.
Good having you guys here.
And any gravy for the
Like-
fries?
I just knew where to go, I'll go and buy one. We need to.
There's one in Yorkton place.
Are you all ready?
So I
South
for 40 years. Just
What's
about
that?
Salad, fries, or soup?
Outdoors.
Not quite half of the way, 3/4 of the way through the century.
Joe Ackland's building, right across the street from Auto Letters.
What inspired you back
Got a
then?
lot of,
At my place,
Just stand by. I think the meeting is over, so we're going to disconnect it, and thank you for everybody that showed up. We're about to have the lunch and
Sorry about the technical screw ups at the start. We'll do better next time.
Lemon rice or cream of potato bacon?